It's 1987. The world is moving faster, and so are expectations. Toughness alone doesn't cut it anymore. People wanted strength, comfort, and precision. Ford answered the call with the 8th generation F-Series, trucks that weren't just built to work, they were built to ride like a dream. Thanks to a refined suspension that smoothed every bump, a modernized dash that put the driver in control, and a bold new grille that radiated confidence, these trucks didn't just haul, they redefined what driving a pickup could feel like. This wasn't evolution, this was a revolution on wheels. By the mid-1980s, pickup trucks weren't just for farms anymore. They were daily drivers, weekend warriors, and the backbone of countless businesses. But there was a problem. Long drives meant bumpy roads, aching shoulders, and tired hands. Driving a truck was still hard work. Ford engineers faced a challenge. How do you keep the F-Series tough as ever, but make every mile feel effortless? Their answer was genius, a refined suspension that softened every bump, a reworked chassis that handled with confidence, and a driver-focused dash designed for control and comfort. The 8th generation F-Series wasn't just about looking modern, it felt modern, it drove smarter, and it gave drivers the confidence that no road, no load, and no challenge could slow them down. Step inside the 1987 F-Series, and you'll notice something immediately. Ford wasn't just tweaking a truck, they were rethinking it. Gone were the blocky, heavy lines of the past. The 8th generation stood taller, sleeker, and more aerodynamic, with a grille that looked purposeful, headlights that seemed to pierce the road, and body lines that whispered, "I'm ready for anything." Not flashy, not over the top, just confidence you could see and feel. Open the door, and the cabin tells another story. The dashboard, logical, intuitive, everything you need is exactly where you expect it. Seats, comfortable enough for a full day on the job or a weekend adventure. Controls, thoughtfully placed so you can focus on driving, not wrestling with your truck. And then there's the magic beneath your hands and feet. The refined suspension, smooth front and rear setups turned bumpy back roads into gentle rides. Imagine long hauls, heavy loads, or rough country roads, now manageable. Every bump, every shake, every jolt was softened, letting drivers experience the F-Series like never before. Ford wasn't just improving a truck, they were changing how people felt behind the wheel, making toughness meet comfort, and turning every drive into a story worth remembering. The 8th generation offered a range of engines, from the trusty 4.9-liter inline-six to the legendary 7.5-liter V8. For those needing diesel torque, the 7.3-liter IDI diesel was available, delivering stamina for heavy-duty tasks. Driving these trucks felt like evolution itself. The improved suspension soaked up bumps. Steering was more responsive, visibility improved, the truck felt lighter without losing the backbone of its strength, and the F-150, the half-ton hero, continued to cement its place as the most versatile, dependable truck on the market. Ford had finally found the perfect balance between capability and comfort. Every drive reminded you, toughness didn't have to be painful. In 1987, a new F-150 started around $9,500. A solid investment for both work and daily life. Competitors like Chevrolet's C/K series and Dodge Ram were catching up, but Ford's focus on ride comfort, ergonomics, and practical design gave them an edge. It wasn't just about raw power anymore. It was about the experience of driving. People were beginning to see pickups as more than tools. They were personal, reliable, and comfortable machines, and Ford led the charge. Today, the 8th generation F-Series stands as a turning point in pickup history, the truck that smoothed the road to what we now think of as modern pickup perfection. Collectors chase these models not just for their strength, but for the quiet genius in their design, the way every curve, every dial, every inch of suspension feels intentional. Owners still talk about it, the dash that actually makes sense, the ride so smooth you forget the miles, and that rare balance between comfort and raw toughness. The 8th gen taught Ford a lesson that still echoes today. Innovation isn't always about more power, bigger engines, or flashier styling. Sometimes it's about thinking smarter, designing better, and respecting the driver. And every F-Series that rolls off the line after 1987 carries a bit of that philosophy. The idea that a truck can be strong, dependable, and yet a joy to drive. That's the legacy of the 8th generation, a revolution on 4 wheels, quietly shaping the future of every Ford pickup you see today. So, did the 8th generation F-Series make a mark? Absolutely. It wasn't the most powerful or the flashiest, but it refined the art of driving a truck. It combined the legendary toughness of the past with the comfort and control of the future. Every mile, every load, every journey reminded drivers that Ford was thinking ahead, anticipating needs, solving problems, and pushing trucks into a modern era. This was the truck that proved toughness could be smooth and power could be thoughtful. Want to see how the F-Series continued to evolve? Watch the full Ford Legacy series, link in the description.